Hey, what's up, YouTube? Drummaster YGO here with the winner from the last OTS championship.
David Belonge.
What'd you play?
I played Virtual World.
Any shout outs you want to give out first?
Shout outs to our local store and everyone who participates every week. Wouldn't be a tournament without all of us, so got a nice locals.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, played Virtual World. I've been playing this deck for about a year now, since around when it came out, so just comfortable with it. I think it's a good overall deck. It loses to itself sometimes a little bit more than other decks, but when it doesn't, it's usually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So won a case tournament here. My matchups were Eldritch, Pure Zodiac, Drytron, and Sword Soul for the Swiss. Then in the top 8 it was Sword Soul, Warrior FTK, and then actually a Virtual World mirror match in the finals.
Which that is up on Morbid Nexus's channel. I'll leave the link to that in the description.
Cool. But yeah, I'll get right into the deck profile. So the monsters are very standard. It's just 3 Lulu, which is the center of the deck. It gets you what you need, monsters to keep comboing, gets you a spell and trap if you need Chuche or something to set for Ultimate Zolkin. So really versatile, great card, obviously. 3 Lao Lao. It's kind of the power card of the deck. It's 1 card synchro, 1 card rank 6. It's really strong when it resolves. It's usually you go for this usually later in the combos, unless you open really bad. 3 Lily, just another name, gets you what you need in the graveyard. 3 Gigi, which is I think one of the better ones. It gets you your follow-up for the next turn. It's also a level 3 non-tuner, which is just important for the combos. Yeah, really good for adding back Lulu at the end phase. And then 2 Nian. The card is really good. You just don't want to open with it. It's not terrible to open with because you can summon it and usually get some stuff going. Then it goes to the grave and you get more value out of it there. But yeah, just really good card to dump off of the rest of them. And great card. Also makes your resources limitless, pretty much. So that's it for the Virtual World monsters. Pretty standard. For hand traps, just got 3 Ash. It's most generic. Usually sided out a lot. Just depends on the matchup, but it's really good at hitting Fusion Destiny. And then 3 Gamma and Driver. These are the only monster hand traps that I play in this deck right now. I just feel that this is one of the best. It's already really good in this deck, protecting your plays, but I think it's one of the better hand traps in the meta right now too. So it's just gotta play it.
Yep.
You never want to draw this.
Yeah.
You do all the time.
Yep.
All right. So for spells, we got 1 Called By. Gotta play it. 2 E-Telly. Card is really good in a lot of different ways. Just a starter, extender. Cool interaction with the trap card that the deck plays. So this card, you banish it from the graveyard to target a Virtual World in your graveyard, special it, and then send a card from your hand to the grave when the effect resolves. So a lot of times, sometimes this card will be the only card in your hand. You can use this, and then chain this, and then this will resolve, and this will resolve, and you won't have to send. So just kind of a cool. You can't do that with the spell because you'll always have a card in your hand once this resolves. So, but yeah, cool little interaction with that. So,
Okay.
Strong card. 3 Desires, just for consistency, and this deck can shuffle back face down banish cards with Nian, so really there's never really a main downside to this, because if you banish something important you can usually get it right back in your deck. And then the 3 Virtual World spells, 3 City and 3 King Long. City can be ashed, but just gets you your card on the field that you need. Gets you this from the deck. If you're going second, you need to just out like a Appaloosa or anything like that. Just helps to bait out negates.
Okay.
So, yep. And then just the main searcher in the graveyard. So that's it for spells. And then for the traps, the last hand trap in the deck, 3 Impermanence. Great card right now. Almost every deck's playing it. It's just another card to set for Zolkin as well, so it just makes sense to play it in here.
Yep.
And then for Virtual World traps, 2 Chuche and 1 Janmu. It's one of the best cards in the deck. It just allows you to play the control game, allows you to out weird stuff like Mystic Mine and other random things that just the deck shouldn't normally be able to out, but it can out it with this. And this card I explained a little bit earlier, just really good extender, lets you Monster Reborn. So also has another effect that a lot of people don't know about. When it's on the field, if you have another Virtual World Gate, you can switch the battle position of a monster once per turn. Randomly, that'll come up and just like help you not die, or help you get over something really big. Then the last card is just Imperial Order. I main deck it. It's just really good card going first, and if you win the die roll and you draw this, a lot of times you just win the game. So probably should be banned.
Just like a few other cards.
Yeah. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. For the extra deck, it's just basically a Synchro and Exceed toolbox with another twist on it. But for the level 9s, you play Shen Shen, Dragon Mech, and the Croc. So these all are really good rank level 9s. This screws up a lot of decks, the Floodgate ability, the fact that it brings itself back every turn, and then also letting you recycle stuff from your banish zone. Like a lot of times I'll just put back like a Nian that's banished and put it back in the graveyard with its other effect, and can just continue to play on the following turn. This card just outs stuff. This card draws you a card and randomly adds another interruption onto your board if you have a lot of cards in your hand at the end of everything. So yeah, just really solid. For the 6s, Juju, Coral Dragon, and Charge Warrior. These two are just draw, turbo into other plays. This card's kind of annoying. It's hard to out. Can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. While I have two monsters in the grave with the same type and attribute but different names. It can also banish two to send a card on the field to the graveyard, so it outs a lot of random stuff too. This card just has won me a lot of games. It's really good. And then you play Crystal Wing and Zulkin. It's kind of the main boss monster of the deck, super easy to make. Crystal Wing's free, so really good. And then to go along with this package, I played the Mud Dragon package. I played Kaliga. Floodgates are just some of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would just rather shut my opponent out for the turn rather than have just another negate on the field in the form of Dragoon. Dragoon's hard to out, but there's a lot of other stuff that the deck can put out that's hard to out. So just shutting the opponent down, I just feels better. And you can also turn this off on your turn with King Long or Chuche, so really good. And then for the X-Seeds, I play two rank 3s. So I still play this. A lot of Virtual World decks aren't playing this, but it's really good playing around Nib if you can tell your opponent has it. And a lot of times they don't expect you to make that, then they can't hand trap you. This card just breaks boards, beats over stuff, makes Zeus. And then M7 and Fan for the rank 6s. Fan's insane. It just banishes stuff, gets rid of DP out of the grave, gets rid of Eldritch, gets rid of Raise. Also clears something off the field. A lot of times you hit two things that the opponent didn't expect to lose because it vanishes and doesn't destroy, and it usually just cripples them. And this card's just really good. It just lets you add back hand traps from your graveyard, lets you add back a Virtual World that you haven't used yet that turn, lets you bounce their Phoenix Enforcer back to their extra deck from their graveyard. So just very good. And then Zeus. So yep, that's the extra deck. And then side deck that I played, pretty standard kinda. 3 Nibs, 3 Droll. Just some of the most high impact hand traps right now just against certain matchups, so that's why I put them in the side. Kind of considering maining Nib again, but we'll see. We just have a lot of back row decks here at our locals, Eldritch, but then play 3 Droplet on the side. It's the board breaking card that I chose to play because you don't have to give up your battle phase, and it actually can help you like seal games a lot of the time with the halving attack, and this deck can put out a lot of damage in one turn, so yeah, that's why I chose to play that. Then for the traps, just 3 evenly, really good against Eldritch, other back row decks. And then the tech card that I played was 3 Gravity Collapse. Only like 2 decks can play this, Sword Soul in this deck. You send a synchro from your field to the grave when your opponent summons a monster. That's the cost, and then you negate the summon, destroy it, and then your opponent's floodgated for the rest of the turn and can't summon any monsters. So I know it's kind of cheesy, but when you draw it, you can usually get a synchro out almost 100% of the time if you have monsters in your hand. So it just ends the turn. And I just feel like if you can do that, might as well play it.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah, that's the deck.
All right. Well, first place OTS championship, second win actually.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll see you on the channel again.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.